Bisping to face Rockhold. Thank you to my boss. There we go. All right. There we go. Jacare Souza was the number one choice, according to Dana White, but he is unable to compete due to an injury. Bisping gets the title shot. So there we are. Michael Bisping, forever the bridesmaid and not the bride. He is finally going to get his... Michael Bisping is going to get the title shot. So it's Rockhold versus Bisping 2. They fought last time in Australia. Bisping was finished with a one-armed guillotine from Mount, although it's not quite one arm because you need the other arm to post to make the one arm work. But you get the idea. He certainly lost via stoppage. Wasn't exactly close, but it was a easy fight to sell because the two had a back and forth. It's been always repeated throughout history that Bisping started that rivalry on a UFC Tonight show when he called himself the unofficial Strikeforce champion after sparring with Luke Rockhold. That is not true. That actually happened on MMA Uncensored Live. I remember what happened because after the commercial break, Michael Bisping looked at me and goes, I don't know if I should have said that. But there you go. Michael Bisping will get the title shot, I guess, after beating Anderson Silva. Now, here's the interesting part. If you follow Michael Bisping on Instagram, I think even Twitter, because I think his Instagram photos go on Twitter, he's been not training. He's been on a movie set. I'm not sure which movie it is. I want to say Jason Statham is in it, but you get the idea. So there you go. 2.5 weeks away. Michael Bisping's going to fight Luke Rockhold. What has he got to lose? I mean, well, everything, I suppose. But at least he got the title shot. He beat Anderson Silva. It's been a strong year for Michael Bisping. He's shooting a movie. He was the winner of the Ultimate Fighter 3, which was, when was the Ultimate Fighter 3? Let's see. The Ultimate Fighter 3. April of 2006. Whoa. April to June of 2006. Wow. 10 years after winning the Ultimate Fighter, Michael Bisping is going to fight for a title. I don't necessarily like his chances. Rockhold already beat him once. He's had a full camp. Even with a full camp, I don't know what Bisping could necessarily do. However, stranger things have happened in mixed martial arts, and it's a bit of a celebration tour of all things Michael Bisping. So there you go. There's your UFC 199 main event, Rockhold versus Bisping 2. I think a lot of folks were saying, why didn't Yoel Romero get it? Wouldn't have been opposed to that necessarily, but it just seems like he wasn't ever really part of the discussion. I think, obviously, the more deserving candidate, even with that Romero loss, because I thought that loss was super controversial, was Jacare, but Jacare got injured beating Vitor Belfort, or at least had an injury before. Anyway, couldn't pass a medical clearance, and if you can't do that, well, what can you do? By the way, I'm drinking water today, less diet soda, in my Stella Artois glass. There was a bar that went out of business down the street, and they were selling all their things, and they sold a 6-pack of Stella Artois glasses. I'm a redneck, so I bought them. It's like $3 or something. All right. I'll take any questions related to this on Twitter if you have them, at SBN Luke Thomas. So this is, Romero is suspended until July. There you go. Forgot about that because I forgot the suspension was still in effect. Fair enough. There you go. So he wasn't eligible anyway. So that left two choices in Rockhold and, in Bisping and Jacare, and then Jacare's injured, so it sort of narrows it down. All right. There we are. Someone says it's a chalice and not a glass, according to Stella. Well, I don't drink Stella in it, so, it's a glass. All right, let's get to these questions, shall we? All right, first one's up. Oh, Jesus, this is long. But it has 4 recs. Oh, it's from last week's MMA Beat debate. There's no debate about it. All right, here we go. FS1 viewership versus pay-per-view viewership. I watched the MMA Beat last week, and there was a spirited discussion about comparing the number of people who watch FS1 prelims versus a pay-per-view card. I didn't agree with Ariel's idea at all that you could compare Nielsen ratings to pay-per-view buys. Well, you can. It's just very difficult because you're working with a large set of unknowns. And one of the things I didn't get to say on the MMA Beat that I think is really relevant to the discussion is that when you put the pay-per-view behind a paywall,